Yeah, we can do that as well. And we can probably also add some text to this image. So if you click the T, that will drop a text box into your slide, which we can move here. And we can also write something there, maybe for sale. So lots of built-in templates so that it's quite easy to come up with a presentation. If you want to move the image in any way, you can also touch the image and with your fingers turn it around, so quite easy to do that. Should probably wrap up. So we'll give you just a couple of minutes to play around with some of those features, and maybe we'll wander around and help you out. There's apparently a lot of big stars in Greece, so that's excellent. And on your device you can press play, and you can see the presentation as your students would see it, and there's only one slide, so if you click OK, that will then bring it out. Press that button there. OK. So that's great. One of the things that I'll just point out is that Keynote on the iPad will open PowerPoint presentations. So if you've created something, if you've created a presentation or you already have presentations in PowerPoint, then you don't have to throw them away. Keynote will actually open those presentations, and you can use those as a starting point. I might, if we've got 1 or 2 minutes, just show you some animation. So if you tap on the image, so I've tapped on the image of the building here in Greece, you notice that a menu comes up. Copy or cut, copy, delete, replace, lock, and animate. So let's all tap the button here that says animate. So now you can see that there's 2 options. The image can animate in or out. Currently there's no animation, so it says none and none. But if we press this button here, we can assign an animation to this picture. So we tap this plus button, and there's lots of built-in animation. So I'm going to press Anvil, the top one here. Okay, and you can see the animation of that image. So we'll try it again. Did that work on screen? Yeah. Okay, so if you're happy with that animation, you can press done. Otherwise, you can select another animation. So there's one called Flame, which is quite nice. All the real estate is on fire in Greece. Fire sale, that's right. There's an animation called Sparkle. So I'll press done and leave it at that. But you can see there's really powerful features built into the software. So you can create really engaging slides and use some of the animation that Tim and I are using in our presentations really quickly and really simply and really effectively in class. That's about it. So we'll give you just a minute to wrap up there, and I think I'll hand it back to Tim. Oh, I can do Prezi if you like, yeah. Okay, so Keynote is a great way of preparing presentations for the iPad, and not just presentations in a lecture. You can also create Keynote presentations for tutorial sessions and for lab sessions. So we're hoping later today that groups of you will actually create some really nice presentations for tomorrow's lab using Keynote. Now, some of you might remember that yesterday we also talked about another presentation tool called Prezi. So you don't have this on your iPads, but I thought I would just briefly share this with you. So Prezi, is a cloud-based presentation software, and it allows you to basically tell a story in your presentation. And the effect is very different to a PowerPoint or a Keynote presentation because it's non-linear. It doesn't follow a straight path of slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. If you want to tell a story and be a little bit different and move around, then Prezi is a great way to do this. Users can actually zoom into a slide and then zoom out and view things up close or view an entire room. And I've got a really nice demonstration of a Prezi presentation to show you that relates to an anatomy lab. And like I said, it's non-linear, so it doesn't follow the traditional slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an example of a Prezi presentation. I've put the link in there, so actually you have the internet enabled, but I don't know if you have Prezi on your iPads. It's quite a large presentation. No, you don't have it, so don't worry about that link, but you might want to copy it down and view it later on. But I've actually downloaded it to this iPad. Yeah, we'll provide the link at the end, and you can have a look for yourselves. And this is a really nice presentation that was prepared to show first-year students what an anatomy lab is actually like before they get to an anatomy lab. So a lot of first-year students are very apprehensive and worried and a bit scared about the anatomy lab because they're seeing things that they've never seen before. So this particular professor in the US, Dr. Rob Swatsky, decided to create a presentation to put his students at ease and to kind of show them what an anatomy lab would be like. So students could experience a lab before class. And you could prepare a presentation like this as a pre-lab activity. So students could be asked to view a presentation like this and then come to the lab and share their knowledge with the rest of the class. So I've got a demo of this and I've actually downloaded it to Prezi. So I'll just show you this, that you don't have it on your device. Okay, so it starts off a lot like a regular presentation, but what this particular doctor has done is take a photo of his anatomy lab, and when students press next, you see pictures appear, and students can then zoom into pictures and actually read content, almost as if they're virtually in the lab. Okay, so this is very different from a traditional keynote or PowerPoint presentation where you're moving from one slide to the next. Here students are kind of zooming into and out of an anatomy lab, and the professor here is highlighting the things that students need to know. So it's almost like a virtual lab. This is a very basic presentation in Prezi. If you go to their website, there are really complex, amazing presentations there. But this one I picked because it's relevant to what you're doing here in an anatomy lab. Okay, so students can zoom around before the lab, get a sense of what is going to be on display, the kinds of questions that they might get asked, and then when they're in the lab they can make better use of class time because they already know what to expect. Okay, so that's a really simple example of a Prezi presentation, but they get much more complex and there's some quite amazing things that you can actually do. Okay, so now I'll hand it over to Tim. Oh, no, it's still me. Apologies, you have me for a few more minutes. So yesterday we talked about how the iPad can be used in terms of the tutor, lecturer, course coordinator, administrator, clinician and student. When I talked about the tutor, I showed you an app called Attendance. I just wanted to point out beforehand that yesterday I talked a lot about the fact that preparing materials for the iPad means that they're flexible materials. You know, students can use them, access them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether they're at home, whether they're at university. So flexibility is a good thing, but sometimes we do want students to attend class. So at my university and Tim's, labs and tutorials are compulsory, mandatory. Okay, it helps to foster good work habits. It teaches students responsibility. They're forced to engage with other people, so they develop social skills. So flexibility is great, providing resources that are online and available all the time, but it's also really important that students come to class and actually develop these skills. So for me, attendance at compulsory sessions is really important. I make labs and tutes compulsory for this reason. But in my course there are 420 students, there are 26 different tutorials a week, 5 different labs a week. Managing, recording student attendance is difficult. So yesterday I pointed out that I used an app called Attendance 2 to do all of this. So I thought I would just show you how to do this. Now, you don't have this app here, so I will show you how easy it is to do. So this is the app, what it looks like. It's called Attendance. And this is the kind of thing that you can do in your own classes, especially if you want to, eliminate all the paperwork and make life much easier for yourself. The first thing that you would need to do is create a class list. I have a class list, so who's in my class, and I've actually saved that to Dropbox, but you could email it to yourself. It's quite easy. So I'm just going to collect mine from... Oh no, first thing I'm going to do is set up a class. So if I press this button, I will call this class, say, Human Biology Lab. Okay, so we have a class called Human Biology Lab. Now who's in the class? Maybe there are 20 students in the class. So I'll tap on this class and I will import my class list from Dropbox. Or you can email your class list to yourself in Excel format. So here are all of my students, their name, their numbers, their names, the program, and their email addresses. This is all a fake email address and fake number, but so I can say, okay, 1061 is the student number. The second thing is the last name of the student. Gabrielle is their first name. One at Adelaide is their email. And we'll import this class in. Okay, so now my class has 13 students in it. When do we meet? Maybe our labs are, let's say, meeting times here. Maybe our labs are Wednesday from 10 o'clock. Okay, so that's great. Wednesday we have our labs. I'm going to, oops, cancel that. I'm going to press the date maybe 5 times. Okay, and we've now created a class list for each of the labs during the semester, and this is what my tutors see. So they walk into the class with this, they see the names of all the students, and they basically go around and mark attendance. So Gabrielle, she's not here, so she's absent. Emily is here, so we tap that and she's present. Jade, well, she's